I'm going to start with the roll call. And if you're getting mixed up, I'll switch the time now. And I got to announce the meeting is being recorded. We'll start with roll call. Jennifer Eaton. Present. Dalton Wagner.
Present.
Anna Queer. Present. Jim Queer. Jim Moran is absent. John Hussey, you there?
Here.
Oh, there you are. And I can't hear him here. 1.3, topics not reasonably anticipated by chair 48 hours in advance of the meeting. I'd like to add 4.3, letter from Beth Paxton, planning board and general administrator dated 4/26/21, RE MVP action grant. 4.4, letter from Beth Paxton, county planning and general administrator dated 4/26/21, RE MVP action grant virtual meeting details. And 3.4, brief discussion on fish and wildlife restoration project. Can I get a motion to add to the appropriate location?
Motion to add to the appropriate location.
Jennifer Eaton, you in favor of this?
Yes.
Dalton Wagner, you in favor of this?
I'm sorry, Karen, I can't really understand what you're saying, so I can't really vote on that.
Okay.
Sorry about that. It's just very difficult to hear.
Is that because of the echo or you're not close enough?
Yeah, it sounds like we're in some sort of, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
Okay. So I'll just put you as an abstain. Maybe it's Matt. Anna Queer, you in favor of this?
Yes.
Jim McQueen, you in favor of this? John Hussey, you in favor of this?
I can't understand what you're saying. I'm sorry.
Well, that's fine. It's a great call, apparently.
Maybe if you talk really slow.
Okay.
I understood that.
The selectmen's room is empty. You guys want to move into there?
Could we just move that very carefully?
Can we take a brief recess for 5 minutes? We're going to move into another room.
But they won't be at the same time.
Right?
Can move into another room
Well, to take a brief recess.
to take a brief recess.
Okay, we'll be back. Sorry.
You don't need to.
I don't think so.
Yes, please. I go for a really weird walk. Actually, just bring the remote right now.
I can hear
I'll
you
come
very
back.
clearly now.
Now you can. Of course
Yes.
you can, because you're right next to.
Oh, well.
It might be.
I'm sorry if I'm demanding. I don't mean to be high maintenance over here.
Okay, so 1.4, Chair's report. I'd like to report that we now have an admin. Jen Eaton is now our admin. She started on Monday. She actually has an email address in town, so finding good people free to email her and not me. And in last night's selecting meeting, Veronica Powell is still our liaison for the selection. Agent's report, there isn't one because I didn't have time. 1.6, review of minutes. Did everyone get a chance to review the minutes for 4/14/21?
No.
Were there any changes? Okay. No. May I get a motion to approve and release the 4/14/21 minutes? Unread. Can I get a second? Sure. Jennifer Eaton, you in favor of this? Yes. Dalton Wagner, you in favor of this?
Abstain?
Ann LaQueer, you in favor of this?
Yes.
Jim LaQueer, you in favor of this? Yes. John Hussey, you in favor of this?
Yes.
And I am in favor of this, Karen Hill. Okay, this brings us to 2.1. We have a meeting at 7:05, and I apologize for being late. It's 7:18. It's a request for determination of applicability, TWB 2021-101. The applicant is Andrew and Wendy Hammond. The location is 11 Sonoro Road, and the project is to cut down 4 trees and to rebuild this. Actually, it's really just to cut down 4 trees. That's how long we add on at another point in the 100-foot buffer zone of Benton Pond. And I see the Hammonds are there somewhere.
Yes, oh, there they are.
So we did a site walk on Saturday, and we went out there, and anybody got any questions about the project?
I do for you, Karen, if I may.
Okay.
You've said in the past when we've had people cut down trees in our jurisdiction that we've, in certain circumstances, asked for plantings.
Correct.
So I thought that that would be a reasonable and fair thing to ask. To their discretion, and I could suggest maybe just a few blueberry bushes would do it.
Usually it's a 1-to-1, so that I'm fine with that if everyone else is.
Yeah.
So, and again, it doesn't have to be where the trees are being removed.
Yeah, because they're going to keep the stumps.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct, and those stumps will sprout eventually too. So, any other questions?
So what's he asking, to put blueberry bushes there around where they cut the trees down?
They're going to plant them closer to the top of the road.
This was discussed out there on Saturday?
No,
No,
that's
no.
Dalton's suggestion.
Or Walton's suggestion is to do.
Blueberry bush.
Because
It's a good, yeah, it's a good idea.
In the past, there was one of their neighbors cut down some trees to favor the tupelo tree.
Yeah.
If you remember that, and we asked them to do 1-for-1 or 2-to-1. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Right. There's all kinds of vegetation in that bank already.
Yeah, but it's more or less the canopy cover, yada yada. I mean, it's vegetated. It's not.
Yeah.
And actually, the homeowner didn't seem to think that was a bad idea.
No.
So anytime you can plant blueberry bushes.
That's awesome.
So, anybody else out there? Any audience members have any questions? I don't see any hands.
Mr. and Mrs. Hammond, are you all right with that? Does that sound okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're saying to add some blueberry
Yeah,
bushes.
that's fair.
onto the
That's
bank? Yeah.
very, very fair. Yep.
Okay.
And
That was
actually,
smooth then.
they said that they were going to remove a burning bush also.
I'd really like to. I
Okay.
just have to, it's just a financial, eventual, cost of it, but I do
the removing the burning bush would be a bonus.
would be, yeah, I know.
Okay,
I
so
agree.
I'm just throwing that out there that you're willing to remove an invasive species.
For the
Yeah.
record.
Yeah, that
Okay.
is, yeah, Wendy would be right up there with you. Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right, so with that being said, can I get a motion that we issue a -3 determination on TWB 2021-101?
So,
So,
Move.
Oh, I got 3 of them. Can I get a second?
Seconded.
I think I got 3 of those. Does that make us 6 anyway? All right, Jennifer Eaton, are you in favor of this?
Yeah.
Dalton Wagman, are you in favor of this?
Yes.
Ann LaQueer, are you in favor of this?
yes,
Jim LaQueer, are you in favor of this?
yes,
John Hussey, you in favor of this?
Yes.
And I, Karen Hill, am in favor of this. So now we're going to jump down to 3.3, which is vote to amend TWB 2021-101 to allow the repairing of the stone wall. And the reason why we did it this way was because the legal notice was posted just to cut the tree.
Right.
So we didn't add the stone wall into that with the legal notice. So we're going to amend the order that we just voted for.
This is for the same property?
It is.
yes.
And the alternative is to let them not enjoy a safe wall?
Correct.
Yeah, well, I'm not for that.
Thank you.
And again, this, they keep patching it. They're going to need to fix it.
Yeah.
So, any questions on that? Any questions from the audience?
I have a question.
Sure.
It's not in the RDA, so does it need to be added to the
It does,
RDA?
it does. It's an amendment to the RDA.
Okay,
If you look in their file, they amended their RDA on another thing.
okay,
That's all we're doing is making an amendment to it.
okay.
Okay, and I guess I would like to request that when you do this work, that you do put up some form of erosion control to keep any soil from heading towards the pond, which I'm sure you're gonna do, because
Yeah.
you obviously don't want the pond compromised in any ways, but I'm gonna put that stipulation in.
Yep. Yeah, we'll make sure that our goal, just like yours, is to make sure that pond is kept as clean as possible.
I know you're probably better stewards of the pond than we are, so
We are very careful. Yeah.
I know everybody up there is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Everyone. Yeah.
Okay, so can I get a motion to amend TWB 2021-101 to allow the repairing of the stone wall?
So noted.
So
And
moved.
may I get a second?
Second?
You can't second it.
Seconded.
Okay.
Untitled.
Jennifer Eaton, are you in favor of this?
Yes.
Dalton Wagman, you in favor of this?
Yes.
Ann LaQueer, you in favor of this?
Yes.
Jim LaQueer, you in favor of this?
Yes.
John Hussey, you in favor of this?
Yes.
And I, Karen Hill, in favor of this. Alrighty, well, are those gonna be ready tomorrow? or-
Yes.
Okay, we'll sign this after the meeting, and we've got 4 people here, so we have plenty of signatures, so that's good. So if you wanna pick this up, you wanna pick it up, or do you want it to be mailed to you?
Well, we can pick it up. Sure.
Thank you very much.
Okay, just give Jenna a call and let her know that you're coming and when you're gonna come, so that she has it ready for you.
Okay.
Great. Yeah.
Is that okay, Jen?
Yep, absolutely. I'll see you then.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All
All
right.
right.
You guys take
Bye.
care.
Good night.
Enjoy your meeting.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a 7:15 and it's now 7:25.
Are we supposed to close that portion?
Yes, we are. Thank you for reminding me. Can I get a motion to close the meeting for TWB 2021-101?
Make a motion to close the meeting on TWB 2021-1.
And a second, please.
Second.
All right, thank you, John. So, again, we have another request for determination of applicability, TWB 2021-102. The applicant is Kenneth Kelly and Kevin Smith. The location is Warren Road, Lot 1. The proposed project is to construct a driveway and associated grading within the riverfront of Trout Brook. And I thought I saw Stan there. There's Stan.
I'm here.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, Stan.
Don't mind
Hi.
me.
So this is Kevin Smith's gravel pit that's on Warren Road. And those of you that were on the sidewalk Saturday saw what it looked like. And they're ready to build the houses there. They have lot 2, I think they have excuse me, they have a buyer and they want to construct lot 1. Lot 3 will be down the road. We originally had planned on doing a shared driveway, which would have been outside the riverfront area on the north end of the property. But as it turns out, there's another shared driveway within 500 feet. So we can't do that. So we need to bring in an individual driveway. And the plan that we submitted, we're actually going to flip that plan. So the driveway is a little further to the north where there's less grading required and there's less riverfront area that would be disturbed. The riverfront is completely bisected by Warren Road. Warren Road is the high point. Everything from Warren Road flows down onto this site. There's nothing from this site that has any potential or any possibility of going in the other direction and reaching Trout Brook. Since we met with you, we met with Fish and Wildlife out there yesterday, and we have come up with a plan for turtle protection for the endangered species. And I forwarded to Karen today an initial email from them saying that they intend to issue a conditional no-take letter for the property. So I think that's pretty straightforward. Again, when we flip the house, there'll be less grading associated with the driveway. So less grading in the riverfront, but it's other than the riverfront area, which they protected with their original earth removal permit, the rest of the site is pretty much a barren sand pit at this point. So they're in the process of reclaiming it and building the houses.
So you said you don't actually have a NISA determination? You just have
We
a
do,
condition?
well, we have a preliminary determination. He just hasn't had a chance to write the letter yet. But the email that I forwarded today says that he intends to write a letter that will give it a conditional no take.
Okay. So any questions from board members?
Yeah, so what paperwork has been submitted to us? You mentioned one site plan being submitted, and now there's a new site plan. Maybe that's the one that you had showed to us when we had visited. Is
That hasn't been submitted, but I can forward that to you guys.
okay?
So the other two lots are completely outside of any jurisdiction that the Concom has. That's why we submitted just this one lot on the plan that you're looking at. Everything else is outside of the jurisdiction of the commission, but I can certainly forward that plan. There's no harm, and that will show the turtle barrier that we agreed upon with endangered species.
Okay. Karen, what is it that we need to make a decision for with Stan? Because, I mean, we visited that site. It looks pretty straightforward. But if we don't have the up-to-date site plan, should we be making any votes on that if it's not in hand?
Well, you do have a valid point. If we don't have the plan in front of us, we should not vote on it. Do you have a way of screen sharing that with us, Stan?
The plan, I haven't revised the plan to show the driveway on the other side. I didn't think that was warranted, but if you want me to do that, I can do that. But the determination would be the same whether the driveway comes in where it's on the plan that you have in front of you, or I flip it and put the driveway on the other side. It's still going to be a request for determination whether it's a negative or positive determination, and flipping the house, putting the driveway on the other side just decreases the amount of disturbance in the riverfront area. And my plan that I talked to Kevin about was he's going to have to create an easement on lot 2. I suggested that he put the driveway in first, then we locate the driveway and create an easement so that we're sure that the driveway ends up in the easement that he's going to need on lot 2.
I agree with everything that you've said. I'm just not personally comfortable taking a vote on something that we're not seeing, on paper yet. That's all. But maybe we can put you on the beginning of the next meeting to sort of hurry it up.
Does anybody else have any thoughts on that?
Knowing that we've been on the site, we've done the walk, and we've given them permission to let that go forward, and just because it's not on the drawing yet, I'm not sure that that's the reason not to vote on it.
Okay, anybody else? John, do you have any?
Well, I don't like signing something that's,
That we can't say?
yeah. We should have everything we need in writing before we move forward.
Would it be possible, like, can you put it up on the screen?
Steve, I asked him, he said he didn't have it ready yet.
Okay.
So, with that, I think we're going to request a continuation on this because I'm not comfortable voting on something that isn't on paper. That's I think that everybody agrees with that.
I do.
Not that we don't trust you, Stan.
No,
We just, we're voting on a plan, is what we're voting on. And if we don't have a plan, we can't really vote on it.
no, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you. I think the determination will be the same whether it's this plan or another plan. And actually, if we hadn't talked about moving the driveway, you would be voting on this plan.
Right.
So,
And maybe by then you'll have your actual letter from NISA.
we should have that coming shortly.
So, because we really couldn't issue anything tonight without your determination letter anyway. We could have done a conditional, but we couldn't have done anything without that NISA determination.
What I'll do is I'll modify the plan to show the driveway on the other side, but I'll put it on the plan that shows all 3 lots with the turtle protection barrier as Fish and Wildlife wants it. That way it'll be a little more all encompassing, even though the rest of the project is outside your jurisdiction, but it'll give you a better picture of what's going on the whole site.
That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that's good, Stan.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to continue this to, what is it, May?
I don't have a date.
May 12th?
Motion to continue.
Seconded.
I couldn't remember who you were. Jennifer Eaton, are you in favor of this?
Yes.
Dalton Wegman, you in favor of this?
Yes.
Ann LaQueer, you in
Yes.
favor of this? Jim LaQueer, you in favor of this?
Yes.
John Hussey, you in favor of this?
Yes.
And I, Karen Hill, in favor of this. So we will continue this to 7:05 on the 12th. And we will see you again, Stan.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Stan.
All right, this brings us to, oh, no, we don't have to close the meeting. Never mind, sorry. Okay, no, sorry. 3.1, vote to approve and sign COC for 308-274, which is 41 Edward Road. This is a very interesting one. This was issued, orders and conditions were issued back in 1994 for an addition that they never put on. They recorded the orders, so it was on a deed, but they never did the addition.
Oh.
And now they're trying to sell the house, so I have to close out the orders. So we have to issue them a certificate of compliance that states that the work hasn't been done, so that they can close it out. So there's nothing to really say is done, but we have to close it out so that they can sell the house.
Okay, well, I don't want to prevent them from selling their house.
Who's out there?
I don't know. Okay, so any other questions?
No?
It's pretty straightforward. All we
Okay.
need to do is go through the motions.
Correct, that's what it is, the motion. All right, so may I get a motion to approve the COC for 308-274?
Motion to approve the COC 308-274, 41 Edward Road.
And we will sign it out at the end of the meeting.
Second.
All right. Jennifer Eaton, you in favor of this?
Yes.
Dalton Wegman, you in favor of this?
Yes.
Ann LaQueer, you in
Yes.
favor of this? Jim LaQueer, you in favor of this?
Yes.
John Hussey, you in favor of this?
Yes.
And I, Karen Hill, in favor of this. Great. Okay, this brings us to that fun part. Discuss and/or vote how to proceed with the interview for the agent position. So something interesting happened last night at the selectmen's meeting, at least maybe I thought so. There was I'll get to that point.
Sorry.
So the selectmen were talking about approving meeting minutes. And there was meeting minutes from December, I think it was, and 2 of the board selectmen weren't on the committee at that time. So they were going to abstain, which left just Veronica to vote on it, which is 1 out of 3. And Mr. Kreidler said that because of that, it still would carry because an absence is not a no or a yes vote. So the vote that we took previously on hiring the agent realistically does carry, because I questioned him on that today. So that having been said, I don't know what we want to do with this. Do we want to stick with the original plan, which I don't have in front of me because I wasn't smart enough to bring it, or do we want to just go with something different? I'm really getting tired of this.
Well,
You know,
For the selectmen to tell us that it's 15 hours that we have, not 20. They have no idea what we're going through in the commission, how they did things are and work that's involved. I think stand our ground to the selectmen.
well, that's neither here nor there.
That's not what,
Okay.
We
this,
at
that's
this
what
point,
this is about, yeah.
at this point, we need to figure out how we're gonna interview someone. That's step number 1.
Can I ask a question?
Wait,
I get the sense that everybody wants to be involved with the process. I don't understand why if we get a new applicant, we couldn't go into an executive session and have the applicant before the entire commission.
We could do that. We will have to have guidelines though, as far as what not to ask a person.
So it
Because
won't be
they-
a free-for-all.
Correct.
So,
And
yeah.
everybody will get, say, 2 questions to
Yes.
ask, because that would be 14 questions. And that's quite a bit of questions. So I guess that's really what we need to work out. Is that how we want to go? Because I'll have Mr. Crowther, again, he'll vet whoever comes to us first so that we're not wasting our time. We'll come up with 14 or so questions that everybody will kind of draw on or whatever. And we could do that, if that's what everybody wants to do.
To make sure that whatever we're asking, do we need to get, consult?
I think we should,
Town council?
I think we should just consult Mr. Crowther with the question.
Okay,
He's interviewed boatloads of people, more than I have, that's for sure.
right.
And I'm comfortable with that. I don't know how everybody else feels. And we don't need town councils.
Okay, I didn't know.
I think that's a waste of time.
I think it would be a good idea.
What, town council?
No, to have everybody be involved.
Okay. I just want to get this procedure done and over with. That's my point.
Yep.
And I'm sick of hashing this thing through. This is the 3rd meeting.
Yep.
That we've wasted our time on this. So, anybody else out there have an opinion on this?
Seems fine to me.
Okay,
That's not a big deal.
John?
I have no comment.
Okay. So, put my glasses back on. So if that's the case, then, trying to figure out how to word this. So we will have the town administrator vet the applicant first.
Yes,
Then we will come up with roughly 14 questions, so that's 2 per person. That every applicant will get asked the exact same questions, whether or not it's the same person asking questions, it doesn't matter to me.
right.
And we will do that in executive session.
I think
Does
that's a
that
great,
encompass it all?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm happy with that.
Okay. So someone want to make that motion? You can just-
So noted.
Goodness. Can I get a second on that?
Second.
You ready? Jennifer Eaton, you in favor of this?
Yes.
Dalton Wagman, are you in favor of this?
Yes.
Ian LaQueer, are you in favor of this?
Yes,
Jim LaQueer, are you in favor of this? Yes. John Hunt, are you in favor of this one?
No abstain.
Okay, and I'm in favor of this. Thank you. Okay, so this brings us to 3.4. I talked to brief discussion on fish and wildlife restoration project. I talked to a woman, Chalice Bird. She's a biologist for fish and wildlife. They're going to do a restoration project on their property on Shirley Road and in Townsend Road in Shirley. They have that Squanicook, I forget the name of it exactly. And what they want to do is cut trees and do a prescribed burn to create a pine barren, which is an endangered habitat, and it's also habitat for other endangered species. She had asked me if I wanted to go out with Fish and Wildlife, Pat Humphrey, and a couple others to view the property, which obviously I do want to do, but I thought some of the board members might want to too.
Absolutely.
They're going to come before us with a proposal in a month or two. So there's another point for either possibly going out or asking questions or what have you. So I asked her if it was agent only or if it was agent and commissioners, and she wasn't completely sure how the other biologists felt with COVID and all that. So I said, well, let me reach out to my commission and see if they want to go. And if they do, I can let her know and she can get back to me as to whether or not they want to do a group thing. If they don't, I can go out and then I could bring all you guys out later, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So, and it would be during the week, it wouldn't be on a weekend because these people would be doing it on their work time, not on their time off. So I don't know how that would work for Dalton.
I'm sorry about that.
Well, it, you know,
This does sound like the best site meeting of all time. I really do want to go check out the property. The prescribed burn is really interesting, and we do need that in our area. So,
well, again, I could always take you back out there. I could take you out there and leave you in the woods and you can find your way back.
you know I would.
Just follow the river. Anyway, that was a joke. I'm sorry.
I have a question.
All right, so I'll get back to, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were making a comment.
I have a
Anyway.
question.
Please ask it.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
The question is, what road in Townsend is this prescribed burn supposed to take place?
it's their property off of Shirley Road.
Off of,
I think it's Squanicook Meadow. No, it's not Squanicook Meadow. It's, and you know, this is worst part. I used to live next to it. So, it's on Shirley Road.
Shirley Road?
Shirley Road. If you're headed towards Shirley, it's on the left-hand side.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Why I can't remember the name of that? Old age.
There are property owners out there. I'm sure they're going to be notified, right?
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. So again, I just want to have a brief discussion on this. They're going to come before us with an actual plan and proposal in a month or two. So
Is there going to be fire protection equipment out there at the state?
I have no idea. They haven't brought the proposal to us yet. That'll be in a month or two.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I just hope they put their ducks in a row.
They should know better, but
A month or
okay.
two. A month or two isn't going to be very, very wet out there. That's for sure.
No, fish and wildlife. So let's move on to 4.0 then. I have 4.33 times. Anyway, 4.1.
You don't have a back section? You don't have a, second page. I have a. I don't mind. I do. Jim doesn't.
That's my guy. I didn't copy the second time.
Okay, well, it's correspondence, so,
Okay.
yeah. 4.1, letter from Finneran and Nicholson PC dated April 5th, 2021, regarding a request for superseding orders of conditions from DEP on lots 1 and 2 South Row Road, DEP number 308-681 and 308-682. This is just notifying us that they filed with DEP for superseding orders and conditions. 4.2, letter from Beth Faxon, Planning Board and Zoning Board of Appeals Administrator dated 4/21/21.
I'm sorry.
No, go
I have
ahead.
a question about 4.1.
Yep.
I read the letter and I was a little concerned because the letter says that we didn't give a reason. The attorney is claiming that we didn't give a reason for our denial.
We did.
But the attorney is claiming that we didn't. He said that we gave an improper denial and without any reason for them.
I read it and I understood it to be that he felt that we claimed that it didn't meet the performance standards when they felt it did. That's the way I read
Right,
it.
but we all know why people voted for the denial, and that's not being mentioned in the letter. I would like to communicate somehow to them. What happened to the denial? I never even saw, was it mentioned in the denial that the people who voted to deny that, denied it because of the 35-foot no disturb?
It was not put in there because we don't have a 35-foot and nobody mentioned
We
that.
do have, it's 7K, and we do have a 35-foot no disturb.
Well, that's not
And
what we're here to
what-
discuss, okay?
If we're not
Okay.
here to discuss it, then that should be in that letter. It should be known that, whether you agree with it or you don't, that is why the people who voted on it voted to deny, and that's something that they should know.
And I talked,
Whether you
I
agree
talked
with
to
it or
town, no,
not.
I talked to town council
I
about
talked
that.
to town council too.
Okay, well, again, this is just correspondence, and I'm letting everybody know we've got that correspondence.
Okay, well, I'm letting everybody know that the reason that it was denied was not indicated in that letter, and that's all. I'm gonna say.
Okay. Very good. Where is it, 4.2, letter from Beth.
I have a question for Karen, if I may.
Sure.
Do you feel like that denial paperwork represents the cause for denial for the people who were the majority ruling in that matter?
I feel that so I talked to town council about it. I told town council the whole scenario of what went on. He looked at our bylaws and he told me what to write.
That's interesting. Because the language is very ambiguous and it offers no specificity as to why it is we voted no. Not even for that entity. I mean, they're confused too because it's very ambiguous.
Okay.
I was advised by town council that we could vote as a commission to write a letter to DEP saying in our defense that we voted for a specific reason that's not stated in the letter that the attorney wrote to them. And we'd be within our right to do that.
Well, that should have been put on the agenda. So if you want to put that on the agenda for the next time, we can do that, but it's not on the agenda for tonight to discuss. Okay? So that's what I was getting at with this discussion is this was only for correspondence to let you know we had the correspondence. If you want to add something to the agenda for next time, that would be great. We can do that. Absolutely.
Okay, that's it.
I have a question.
So wait a second. Just make a notation that you want to put that on the agenda, because between now and then it might go away.
Okay.
So just give Jen a second to scribble that down.
Is it the 12th? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Shoot, Dalton.
So my question is about the denial process, because at no point did you contact Jennifer, John, and I to inquire with specific language as to why we voted no. And upon request of amending that language, you didn't afford us that privilege, which is why we're having this problem. So I'm wondering what the procedure is and what the procedure should be for majority rulings in the future. Should there be a denial? Should the people who have denied by majority not have any opportunity to contribute to denial letters?
Well, that was entirely my mistake, because when we closed the hearing, and I know that we have 10 days to issue a decision after you close the hearing. So where I messed up was when we closed the hearing, I thought it was closed the hearing for good. We could have, in theory, just closed the hearing to do a decision. But my thing is, if I'd let that go on beyond 10 days, our decision would have been null and void. So I was literally panicking to get that decision written in less than 10 days. So that was where I came from.
That's right. Yeah, you did it in one day. And the day after we signed that paperwork, well in advance of you mailing out that paperwork, Jennifer and I specifically requested an opportunity to amend the language because it was ambiguous and it didn't contain any of our reasons for denying. being the
We would
35
have,
foot
we would
rule.
have had, we would have had to have met as a commission to do that.
Mhm.
And that would have been, number one, next to impossible to get that done within the 10-day time frame. And I had talked to town council, and again, my bad, because I was panicking to get that decision out so that so that we wouldn't miss that deadline. And yes, I completely forgot that there's two closings that you need to have. You need to close the public portion of the hearing, and then you need to close the entire hearing. If that makes, I don't know if you're following me with that, but in my mind, we had closed the entire hearing. So we had 10 days to get that to the applicant. And that was my biggest issue.
So
I didn't want a decision thrown out.
Yeah. So did town council direct you to not inquire with John, Jennifer, and I as to the reason, and said, be sure to write this ambiguous language that doesn't encompass why they voted?
No, that would violate the open meeting law, first and foremost. Secondly, town council, I explained what everyone's concerns were. I gave them a consolidation of what happened, and that was town council's suggestion.
What did you tell him?
You know what, Dalton?
Can we move this and discuss this on the 12th?
Make a motion to move this and further discuss it on the floor.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. But I don't even know how to. All right. That would be. All right. So we're back to 4.2. Letter from Beth Faxon, Planning Board and Zoning Board of Appeals Administrator dated 4/21/21 regarding the senior center expansion, planning and zoning board decisions. I know I emailed that all out to everybody. 4.3, letter from Beth Faxon, Townsend Planning Board, Planning and Zoning Administrator dated 4/26/21, RE the MVP Action Grant. That they were looking for volunteers. Oh, I have notes on that. So I don't know if anyone wanted to volunteer to help out. They were looking for pictures and,
Yes, I can help you out on that.
oh, good.
Beth, yeah, I listened in on the meeting. I couldn't be on the meeting today because if Beth and I are both on the same meeting, there's feedback. So
No.
I listened, as much as I could with the fan going. But what she requested is if we have any information on residential wells that have been dry due to drought or flooding. If we have any information or know of any such incidents.
That would probably come under Board of Health. Board of Health may have more information on that.
Okay.
Right? So, unfortunately, that was too.
Yes.
You know, the crowd would make an appointment to be on the agenda.
Well, that might be Beth, or I don't know, maybe Beth would want to, I don't know.
I can find out for you. I'll get the
Okay.
information.
Because she's in charge of that, so, that was 4.3?
Yep.
4.4, letter from Beth Faxon, Townsend Planning and Zoning Administrator, dated 4/26/21, regarding the MVP Action Grant and the virtual meeting detail, which apparently Jen took part of. Very good. Items for discussion at the next meeting. We're going to have an RDA for 49 Edward Road. We're going to discuss the denial. And, oh, the letter. That was part of it too. And the letter to BP. Okay.
Did we say that we were gonna, review the plan from, Warren Road?
Oh,
Is that going on the agenda?
yes, thank you. Lot 1 Warren Road. Very good. Okay. So that brings us to 6.0, advertisements and conferences. There aren't any. I do want to impress upon our newer members that the MSc certificate is realistically a requisite for being on the commission.
When is that?
The conference just ended.
It just ended.
Yes.
I don't understand what happened because I signed up to participate in that certificate program. They said they were gonna send me a link when I got closer to the date and I never received it.
I don't know. Maybe reach out to Lindsay.
I will.
Well, we didn't get a bill. You didn't get a bill, so
Yeah, well,
I mean, usually that means you signed up. So I guess if you didn't get billed for it, no big deal.
The certificate program is required.
It is. You need an MACC certificate. Well, an MACC certificate is proves that you've taken courses and you're competent, or you learned the workings of being a conservation commissioner and how it applies to the Wetlands Protection Act.
What's the deadline for that? Do you know?
There isn't really a deadline because everybody has a schedule that they have to work around. You know, you can't say, oh, you have to have it within a year. You can't, because the classes, well, this last conference, you could have gotten your entire certificate within 2 weeks, and that's unprecedented.
Yes.
It takes, Ann got hers in what, 8 months?
Yeah.
Took me a year. Jim's probably a year or two. That's about the average because the classes come in dribs and drabs.
Yeah.
So you take it when they come. Again, the conference.
It also enlightens people on the law.
Correct. Yeah.
Very critical. You know, flying by the seat of the pants with an agenda is not how this works.
And they also touch on open meeting law and, you know, all the other fun stuff that government does. So, what, are no clocks in this town hall, right? I listened to the. Anyway, I'm sorry.
801.
Yeah. Okay, so this brings us to 7.0. Next meeting is May 12th, 2021 at 7 p.m. And now we're at 8.0, the magical part of the night.
What you do, Joe?
Unless anybody else has any other things. No, anybody else have anything else to add to anything? I'll take that as a no. No. All right, so we have a motion to adjourn at 8:01.
Second.
Oh, my notes are. All right, Jennifer Eaton, are you in favor of this?
Yes.
Dalton Wegman, are you in favor of this?
Yes.
Ann LaQueer, are you in favor of this?
Yes.
Jim LaQueer, are you in favor of this?
Yes.
John Hussey, you in favor of this?
Most definitely.
Well,
All righty then.
and I, Karen Hill, am in favor of this. All righty. Thank you, people, and have a good night. And the rest of us get to sit here and sign paperwork. You guys are lucky you're out there. Good night.
Good night. Good night.